So I just want to start the video off by saying sorry if I look a little bit sweaty. It's very hot at the moment and I'm kind of dying of sweat, so sorry if it looks shit throughout the video. So I don't know about you guys, but I feel personally that Xbox is getting a lot more backlash at the moment, especially compared to other companies like PlayStation or Nintendo, and I feel some of the points that people are getting angry about is pretty valid, especially when they own so many big developer teams and all they've got is Halo lined up for us. It's not great. Today I wanted to be nice to Xbox and I feel like we should be more open-minded. This isn't 2006 and the bloody console war just needs to stop because it's annoying as hell. So for all of you guys living under a rock a little bit like Patrick, Halo Infinite has now been delayed until 2021 with no kind of release date given yet. Now I feel like this is a good thing, but let me get into that. We later then did get told that the new Xbox was still set to release in the holidays, and we actually now know that it's going to be released in November. I think it's like November 6th, I want to say. Honestly, I think we should just say a massive thank you to everyone working in the gaming industry at the moment, because I can't think of a more stressful position to be in. Not only with COVID, all the other step backs, it just must be torturous, especially saying that you guys are currently in the process of releasing your new console. That also goes for Sony as well. I can't imagine the stress of the developers making new games. It must be horrible, especially when you have to do a lot of the work from home. I also realise that some of us gamers can be entitled little gits sometimes and don't know when to say thank you, so for me personally, thank you. Honestly, I think the plan to delay Halo until 2021 is a very wise decision, because it's clear the game is nowhere near finished yet, or it's not up to scraps, it's not ready to be played by us yet. I want to say the reason for this is definitely because of the COVID step backs, and it's understandable that the game isn't looking as good as it should have been by this stage. I personally much rather wait for the new Halo because it looks hella fun. I don't care what anyone else says, this looks like a promising title, especially when you compare it to previous titles. It seems that they're going in a better route. I know I have my concerns, but personally, I cannot wait for this game. So thank you guys for delaying it and making sure that it's going to be right for us when it comes out. Because I'm so sick of games being released and they're not finished properly, they have loads of bugs, and it's just really annoying. You know who I'm on about. Now I have to say personally, Xbox has got some very good features going for them, and I would even say they're better than some of the other consoles. Again, when it comes to Halo, I think the main reason for the delay was due to the amount of backlash. That game got so much, oh, I don't want it, it looks bad, oh, the graphics look horrible, the gameplay looks kind of boring. As I've stated in other videos, I would say Infinite definitely had some visual problems. It definitely wasn't looking as good as it should have done, especially when it's being released on the new console. And when it comes to selling a new bit of hardware, you really can't have those kind of problems, especially when the competition is so big. I have an awful lot of respect for Xbox at the moment because I know this could seriously affect their sales. This game was such a big title that most people would have bought the Xbox just to play it, and now that it's been delayed, PlayStation definitely has the upper hand, and we all know they had a better lineup to begin with anyway. If a game isn't ready, you shouldn't sell it to us. I mean, look at Cyberpunk 2077 for God's sake. That game's been delayed like 3 times, and I personally see it being delayed again, with CD Projekt Red recently saying they're not very happy with the combat at the moment, so it's likely that's going to be a pretty big delay because combat's like the main feature of the game. Christ. But all in all, if anything, this has made me more invested into Halo Infinite because you can tell that they really care about this project and they're willing to delay it in order to make it right. I really can't wait to see this game, and I hope to God that it succeeds. Now, if you're new around here, I'm typically a PC player. It's just something I'm more used to, and it's something I prefer. So recently I stumbled upon something called the Xbox Game Pass. I originally thought this was just for people that owned a console, but it turns out all you need is a Microsoft account and a pretty good spec'd PC. This thing's been in front of me for ages, I've just never realised it. So basically, the Xbox Game Pass is just a monthly subscription that allows you to play tons of new releases. This really isn't an ad, I just appreciate the service. And for some reason, no one ever really seems to talk about it, it's just kind of, I pay £4 a month and look at how many games I get. I feel like this is a real push forward for the gaming industry because nowadays a lot of people just buy a game, they'll finish the main storyline, maybe do a little bit more with it, and they'll sell it on maybe a month later. For some people they won't do that, but let's just go with it for now, okay? And I'd have to say £4 is much more approachable than your average kind of steep £50 to £60, which is just outrageous for games. I really feel like the Game Pass is going to be what makes or breaks Xbox in the future, especially when it comes to the Xbox Series X. So I recently bought this subscription on my PC for £4 a month, and the games I got was insane. If I was to buy all of these individually, I'd be setting myself back hundreds, absolutely hundreds of pounds, but I got it all for £4, and I got it for £1 for my first month. Not only that, you can also cancel it whenever, but that's just kind of standard stuff when it comes to subscriptions, unless you're called Adobe, and then you have to pay a ton. I'd have to say for Xbox, it seems that they're much more interested in service than they are hardware. I know hardware is a driving point for them, but they seem to care a lot more about what consumers are going to be able to play and pick up, and how they can get for the cheapest price while still making profit. You can also get the Xbox Live subscription as a bundle with it. I think it's called like the Ultimate Game Pass, and that will only set you back about £10, which is good. I still really can't defend Xbox Live. I think it's stupid that you have to pay with your friends, and it kind of sucks, especially when you're a PC player and you're used to just kind of doing that for free. But for me personally, I found PlayStation is a bit more on the steep side. I don't know if I haven't really played Xbox in a while, so that might have changed by now. Not only that, but all of Xbox's new games are going to be going straight onto the Game Pass. So Halo Infinite, for example, as soon as that game comes out, it's going to be on your Game Pass for you, ready, waiting for it to install. If you were to work it out, it would cost me about £48 a year to get all these games, which is absolutely insane. That's not even one game. Instead, I could buy Halo Infinite, and that could be the only game I could play, or I could just pay the £48 a year, and I get so many more titles. Like recently, I wanted to play the new game Grounded, and instead of just buying it, I essentially bought it for £1 just to see if I liked the game, and I'm willing to pay that extra every month after. And if you were to pay that £10 for the Xbox Live version, you'd be probably paying about 120, 130. That's 2 games. And you get like what, 100, maybe 200 games? That's insane. I am aware that Sony does have their own kind of version of this, but again, it's a little bit more pricey, and I don't really see them adding the new Horizon game or Spider-Man game onto that service as soon as it releases. I just personally think it's such a good way to get more people into gaming, because it's a pricey hobby when you think about it. You have to buy the console. If you're a PC player, you have to spend a huge amount on the PC itself. You have to buy the games, you have to get all the headsets to play with your mates. It can really set you back. So to only be paying £4 a month to get this huge bundle of games, it can be such a door opening for some people that are just financially not able to pay for the games. I know some people may disagree and they still think Xbox is pretty crappy, but for me personally, I think you've got to realise this is a really great thing. I think buying new consoles for some people is going to be quite a hard decision, just because they're both so good, and they both seem to have quite good features around them. I just wish Xbox would get more credit than they normally get, because the Xbox Game Pass for me has been an absolutely brilliant thing, and it means I can play all these new games which I would never have really got around to because I didn't want to pay for them. So if you are running low on money at the moment, maybe consider investing in this. Like I said, you can cancel it whenever, and it's a great way to play some games you wouldn't usually play. So what do you guys think? Do you think this service will be good going forward, or do you think eventually it will just be another disappointment because Xbox won't live up to standards? Really, at this point, all we're going to have to do again is just kind of wait until both are released or we find out more information about them. And I'm also sure as more months go by, it'll be more apparent which console's worth the buy. Thank you guys for watching. If you are new here, maybe consider subscribing, and I'll see you little kids in the next one. I'm gonna go for a shower.